as you age. Even if you don't play now, you should give it a shot. It's one of those games, especially with your homies.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's dude. I think I asked you this question maybe a week ago, maybe a little bit longer ago, and because I think I said to you, I was looking for your pecking order, and I referenced that for me, I enjoy, of all the things I enjoy doing in this field, I enjoy mostly working on the website. And then I would say podcasting, like this.
Nice.
This is an unstructured conversation, unstructured format. Then I would say the show for Sunday night, because it is, for the most part, it's very structured. You can't curse. You can't do this. You got an engineer looking at you crazy whenever there's any dead air.
Right.
Or if, like, the caller gets your guest for the evening gets disconnected or something like that. Then I say event attendance, meaning the stuff that I have to go to. Yeah, the kind of the events that you have to go to. You got to go schmooze, or you got to go talk to these vendors.
I love
or
that.
Like that.
Send me someplace to talk to people. I mean, that's like the best job.
And then the thing I like the least is sometimes dealing with the PR folks.
Well, yeah, that seems to be the business side of it, right? And the PR people.
Some of them are thorny.
Some of them are.
Some of them want you to do a handstand for them for their product or to speak with. I mean, I could tell you I've spoken with over 100 guests. Let's just say that hypothetically, 100 guests.
Right.
Some of them, they want you to, jump through a hula hoop to speak with your guests, and it's to a point where I'm tired of speaking with you. I want to speak with the person offline.
Right.
But I get it.
But isn't that what handlers do, right? This is why you always have like 4 or 5 handlers. You got your agents and your manager and your publicist and your personal assistant, and Mr. So-and-so only likes his coffee this way, and then you bump into someone else who, so you have to, that's part of that life, right? You have to have enough tolerance and deference to deal with underlings and hirelings and higher-ups sort of way that they talk to you. Because, it's lucrative, so you'll be happy to be called an idiot and have coffee spilt on you and then scurry out the room. But some of us will be like, what? And they'll be like on, like, Entertainment Tonight. So-and-so got snatched up behind the scenes after she insulted some, it's this thing. So they know what they're doing. They test you out and hire people that are what's the word I'm looking for? People who are the right timber for what they want to use them for. So yeah, it's ridiculous. so yeah.
I guess we got to talk. He's more of a media whore, Michael Avenatti.
Yeah.
There wasn't a time when he wasn't on TV or on this Dance Guest, the list of guests, and talking about Trump and Trump's sons and all this other stuff. And there's always been something.
Yeah.
There's always been something. Oh, he got arrested for this. And I'm like, man, this dude is getting arrested a lot to be someone's legal counsel.
So the first year, he was just a thorn in like Trump's side, right? He was up there with Stormy Daniels. He was accusing the president of all sorts of kind of wild stuff. Like 2 years later, I mean, they've got enough charges on him to put him in jail for like 400 years. I don't even know what to say. But you know what? I hate to say it, but I know somebody who had a lawsuit and won it and never received any money from the lawyer.
And was Avenatti their attorney?
No, no. But that's the thing. Like once you become, I guess, like famous and you're running for president, the people who are there who run the system are not going to be easy about you showing up. So make sure that you're at least spotless. You know what I mean? And it seems like he was not spotless. He's got complaints from his clients, right?
Clients,
I forgot what they call them. Yeah.
You got Nike, you got this, you got that. It's just.
And on top of that, you got a president who's eager to put you in jail. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you got a Department of Justice that's all over you.
Yeah, your ex client is now against you, right? Stormy Daniels. Yeah. And he just, the whole environment. He should have stayed away from the public life. He lost it all.
I don't think he could. I think he was so infatuated with it.
Yeah, it's a siren call from what's the name of the Greek play? Not play. A book where they go. He wants to hear the song of the sirens. His name will come to me. And so they have him tie him to a mast as the ship, and has everyone else cover their ears. And as the ship sails by the shoals where these sirens are singing, the hero of I want to say the Odyssey or the Iliad, which is one of those. But yeah, I don't think he could resist the power, because isn't that how 15 Minutes of Fame works?
Of course.
All of
I
a
heard
sudden
at one point,
you're known.
At one point, I heard he was shopping around to see if one of the cable news networks would pick him up as a
consultant.
As a host. He wanted his own TV show. That's when I said, okay, this is someone who's looking for bright lights.
Yeah.
Big city, and
I'm gonna ride this 15 Minutes of Fame straight to an Emmy.
I guess we can't blame them, because once you make it, you say the name Don Lemon globally, or Anderson Cooper globally, or
Judge
Carlson,
Judy,
or Judge Judy,
right? Your famous TV lawyer is what he was trying to be,
right? And you're good to go, globally.
Yeah, exactly.
So I won't knock his hustle, but I'm like, ooh. It's kind of painful.
Yeah, he had a rap kid's hustle. And we know some of them, they get an album or two, but then you find out that they're moving drugs and shooting people on the weekends. And now they're doing, what's that rapper's name, Murder One? His brother owned a great label and did some stuff, but he was sent away for killing somebody. And his name was Murder One. And I was like, dude, really? From now on, I'm changing my rap name to Everybody's Friend. So just in case I get involved in a shooting, you can't use my rap name against me. Murder One.
Gosh.
So.
Murder One. It's I don't know. That's scary.
He's Master P's brother, right? Wasn't it Master P?
It's Master P, yeah.
Yeah, Murder One was Master P's brother. Yeah. So you I don't know, man. The art of entertaining.
Yeah, it's. I turned to the news a little bit today, and I saw where Trump and Pelosi are going back and forth with each other, and he's telling his family it's time for an intervention. He's calling her crazy.
See, who does this help? This is soap opera stuff for you. Meanwhile, you and I, as American citizens, have real problems that aren't being handled. Nancy Pelosi has been there forever, and he's brand new, and he's just,
This is two 70-plus-year-old people just arguing with each other.
Like this is Melrose Place, and we care about the drama of it all. I want to know what is going on. I want to know what's going on with the Russians. I want to know what's going on with privacy, These are my concerns.
You'll never find out what's going on with the Russians until he's out of office.
No, it's what that whole that they used to do in the subways with the cups, 3-card Monte, right? You know, you follow the cup, and then it's the old parlor trick where you look at one hand, but you do something else with the other hand. And then when it all gets really, really bad, they'll go, "We are all Americans. We've been through tougher. Come on, all." And then, but no one will be held responsible. They'll just rah-rah you for all of us to fix the problem that, they caused. So God only knows what's going on, man.
Hey, there was a post that I had put up last week on San Francisco sees brownout amid spike in public pooping.
What is that about? I've heard this.
Yeah, where, human feces incidents.
But it's a gang of them. Like, there's a poop gang. Like, first of all, it's weird as all get out. And if you did have this, I think it'd be one guy, some serial pooper that you have to arrest and send to a mental institution. And it's not. It's like a cultural thing where people are pooping in the street.
Yeah.
What is going on with that town?
I don't know what's going on. But in 2011,
and why does it have such high property value if that's going on? You know what I mean?
In 2011, there were 5,500 incidents. 7 years later,
5,500.
5,500 in 2011. 2018, 28,000.
Oh, are there no bathrooms in San Francisco?
I mean, I guess they're blaming it on homeless problem, but they said the streets have long had a problem with human waste. The report shows that the Bay Area's public bowel movements are worse than ever.
So maybe you need to put more public bathrooms around. There used to be phone booths, right? Because apparently you need to do something, and apparently at this point it's become a city tradition. You might want to launch a parade and put it on T-shirts and make some money off of it, or solve it. Seriously, solve it, because 28,000. That is that's a lot of people pooping in your street.
Since 2011, there have been at least 118,000 reported instances of human.
And you want to blame it on the homeless?
And they're going
we're from
to
New
blame
York,
it on the homeless.
right? We have a fair amount of homeless. We don't have a pooping issue. I think it's a lazy excuse to blame it on the homeless. But, yeah. And wasn't there a jogger who they caught like a year or two ago who was a serial pooper? You guys can look this up online. And it was San Francisco. So, I don't know. Maybe it's something in the water. Maybe it's, I don't know. That's a really bad situation to be in. I wonder what the mayor says. I mean, like when people are somebody's got to be making fun of him, and I wonder what his humor on it is. If he's like, this is a serious thing and it's not funny, or if he takes it kind of like tongue in cheek because it is a weird problem to have as mayor. And I don't see how he could really be stark with people who, if they chose to, like me, because I would have a lot of ridiculous questions about it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, your city has got to get empty, and it's people. I wonder what their tourism is.
I don't know. I just know that San Francisco
aren't there cameras everywhere?
Yeah, San Francisco's politicians have attempted to address the problem, forming a poop patrol task force, and they're tasked with scouring city streets, cleansing them of fecal matter.
So your poop patrol task force is essentially a sanitation department spraying down poop. That's your poop patrol, right? I'm thinking it was like a police agency, and I'm like, well, how do they do that? You wait in the bushes and wait till somebody crouches and then jump out at them while they're in mid-movement? I mean, this whole thing is crazy. I want to see the Ken Burns documentary on how this got to where it is. Who's the pioneer who started this for San Francisco? And now 28,000, I should take this more seriously, I'm sorry. 28,000 people are doing this in public streets. And now, this is,
I don't know how this is okay. I don't know how. I mean, you don't want to say I don't know how this is accepted because at the rate that this has just increased, I guess the only thing you can do is accept it or receive a citation.
No, you don't ever want to accept the problem, right? You want to get a handle on the problem. Maybe you can't cure the problem, but you could lessen the effects or the intensity, or at least the scale and scope of the problem, right? You never want to give in to the problem. But having said that, this is pooping in the street. You know what I mean? This isn't trying to get Wi-Fi to people in like the mountains. This isn't, trying to get health care or fresh water to people in Detroit. This is ridiculous. And something tells me, I wonder, this can't be all over the city. This has to be localized to a place, right? And then you just police that place. But if here's the worst thing, if it's not localized to that place and they're doing it all over the place, then that's a people problem. That's a cultural problem. But yeah, the homeless, I can see why you want to blame the homeless. But if it's in homeless areas, I totally get it. But if it's all over the city, it doesn't make any sense.
You got to look at the homeless numbers. They said it's roughly around 7,500. They said 4,000 of those folks are considered sheltered. The other 3,500 are considered unsheltered. So their homeless problem in their city, in the Bay Area, where Silicon Valley.
So I'm looking at a map, and I'm like, wow. So yeah, I mean, there seems to be two heavy patterns where this is a big thing. I'm assuming that's where all the homeless people are, but then it's just scattered all throughout the city, and this looks like the homeless people. This is homeless people and joggers since that jogging lady got caught. But I'm also like, we in New York, I don't live anymore. So growing up in New York, there were homeless people all the time, every place. And this was not a problem. So, and who knows, maybe it's this problem because they got cool with homeless people being everywhere, and people have to do what people have to do, right? I'm sure if they have this problem, they have a public homeless sex problem too. Yeah. Oh man.
I'm thinking there's a housing
and they got the nerve to have the highs.
Problem.
Yeah.
There's a housing authority problem. There's
right.
If you've got a homeless problem. Because if you have this overload in the street of excess fecal matter, then certain expectations aren't being managed. Because like I said, this is something not normal that you should see in the street. I mean, you can tell times like when you're in the city and you're down in the city and you see something that's not right, and you're just like, wait, that's human.
Right.
You can look at it and see, because there's certain things when you like your dog or your cat or something like that is one thing, but you can tell human fecal matter where you're like, whoa, who did this?
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? You don't want to be cruel to the homeless, but at the same time, come on, you can't be. You know what I mean? Wow, I wonder what the solution is going to be.
I'm not saying it's not a hard issue. It's an issue. But it's something that you got to address.
Yeah, yeah. And
number can't go. There can't be an increase of 80% over 7 years.
Right. 10
years.
Exactly.
And you have to have a plan by now. Administration has.
But this is the thing. Back to what we were originally saying. They never seem to have a plan. they come up with like more and more. They either make the problem worse, they kick it down the road, right? Or they ignore it completely. 7 years later, your problem has skyrocketed. Now this is what you're known for, as you try and tell people that you're a cosmopolitan city with high, rentals and home ownership and all this. But all that pales if you can't walk out of your house without this kind of environment. You can't go travel through the nicer places in your city without, stepping in human waste in your sandals or your red bottoms. You know what I mean? I mean, even if you're having a nice time, you look over across the street and then you see this thing going on, you got to be like, man, this city is going to the dog. It's gotta have a psychological impact. Excuse me. So yeah, the people who run the people who run San Francisco need to fix their shizzy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
They need to get it together.
Hey, I want to share this story with you before we wrap up.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how I should feel about this. I'm sharing this with you. I was looking to invest into some ductless units because every year, ductless units, air
ductless units. Okay.
Yeah. So every year, the kids come at me and they're like, "Oh, Dad, it's time for you to put the air conditioner in the window." And the
right.
air conditioners aren't energy efficient.
Right.
So they're burning all different types of. The bill comes in, it's ridiculous for the month, blah, 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 blah. So
right.
I did my research, and I was scheduled for the 28th. I made the purchase. It cost a pretty penny. I interviewed 3 different providers, and, something told me because I had called about a week ago to say, hey, I'm just calling to find out what is the status of my permit.
Right.
Oh, we're going to get back to you. And I said, okay, no problem. I was like, listen, are we still on for that day, for the day after Memorial Day? Yes. I know you wanted to push your day forward. I was like, yeah. I said, we can work this stuff out if need be. So long story short, I called yesterday. I called Tuesday. Got a half-ass answer. I called yesterday, and I said, okay, I know I'm scheduled for the 28th, but can you answer a question? Did you receive not only the air conditioning permit, but the electrical permits?
Right.
Swab. Nobody can answer me. I said,
that sounds about right.
So I get to the point when some manager calls me back while I'm in the middle of a meeting with something else. So I jump out of my meeting, have a conversation with them, proceeded to just bitch them out. And I felt a certain way because the young lady I was talking to on the phone, I told her, I said, this is nothing against you.
Right.
But the fact that your business handles their business and their customer care like this is really poor. And I told her I felt a certain way because I said, you have my money already. You have the money. I'm waiting patiently, and now you're telling me, well, the 28th won't work. We're going to look at the 10th.
Right. It ceases to be customer service, and it's sort of this whole other way that you treat your customers.
It's a lost art. It's a lost art. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So the person apologized to me on the phone. I said, I accept your apology, but just understand, this is not helping me. I said, this is not helping me. And the fact that I've got to chase you down and call you back
right,
and ask these questions. And I said it should be the other way around.
Exactly. And no one does that anymore.
No one does that anymore. Everything is so automated.
People want to be part of the economy and not part of the society. So
so you take your hard-earned dollars.
Yeah.
Because you want to invest in your home and you want to do the right thing and you want to say, hey, I want to get the job done correct, so I want to get the permits. I mean, I could have got some backyard guys to come in and do the work.
Right.
But if something goes wrong, then I'm on the hook for it.
Right.
And it seems like you lose regardless. You lose.
Yeah.
So,
look, a society run on money is a cold and impersonal society, and this is what we're becoming.
Yep.
You look around and all your favorite people, like celebrity-wise, music-wise, actor-wise, they work in these environments where it's always, sunny and people are always telling how everybody's great and I was happy to work with them, blah, 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 blah. But then, you see that there, there's truth behind what they're showing you. Like they're showing you pop and circumstance, but at the end of the day, people are like we were talking about. People have handlers because some people are better at getting deals and dealing with people. Some people are kinder. Some people are darker. Some people are dismissive of. So, I mean, this is kind of where we are. Everybody's just kind of like doing what they need to do to pay the rent. I don't know. I just thought people used to like their jobs. Not everybody seems to hate their job. People seem to be happy to be miserable, right? I talk a lot about politics. Politics doesn't make me miserable, right? Some people in politics, I think, are miserable, but I just don't understand the giddy pleasure people get from being happy to complain about the problem and leave the problem on the table, especially the big problems, right? So, I mean, now we're becoming the society of like I said, cold, impersonal money. But everybody has to start somewhere. So if you started with your family business, you were cooler and kinder because you wanted people to come back and have your family business be a success. But when you work for Walmart and you're like a greeter or you're at the counter at a McDonald's, you're not going to rise up through the ranks.
No, you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Super against you. So in the old days, you could work at McDonald's, put away a little money, buy a bike, and enjoyed having worked there as you went on to the next thing. Now, like you could have, whatever summer job you had, you enjoyed having done it. If you got to see movies, if you worked at a theater, now everybody just seems like they're putting up with everything in society. Their boss, their job, they don't really like their relationship, so I don't know. I don't know, man. Excuse me.
So here's the deal, and it's funny because you say that because I actually enjoy my job, and I'm sitting here saying 22 years later, I'm like, this is great. It's a great job. I'm glad I'm in, and I've said since day one that most of the listeners to the podcast,
right?
That I've been in information technology this almost half my life.
Right.
Almost half my life, I've been in it, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. I can do it. I love it. And generally, I wouldn't say that I'm a miserable person. I
wouldn't say that either.
Right.
You're not a miserable person.
Like when the book is actually closed and the final page is signed off, hopefully someone will be able to say, you know what, he was okay. A little quirky at times, but he was okay.
Exactly.
But because no one is going to be perfect.
Right.
But I got to tell you, I sit here and I talk with customer service. And I talk with when I have to call up on behalf of a customer or a client or something like this. And I'm speaking to the person on the other end of the phone, and I'm like, I could tell they're miserable. Genuinely.
Right. Excuse me.
Miserable.
Yeah. People, and this goes back to the conversation we had yesterday, your last show. People's expectations have been placed high as children in junior high school, and you think you want to do this, and you go out into the world and you realize that, you got to know people and it's impossible to get loans for some of this stuff, and you have to do, so I don't think very many of us end up doing what we set out to do, right? Somebody should take a happiness index in America, see who's actually happy, because we all seem to be complaining about somebody. And I think that's what it is. I think you take your entertainment seriously because the rest of it you've sort of secretly given up on. So, yeah.
I mean, but is that what it is? Like, have you totally just given up?
So. I think people get these jobs and they're happy to be hired so they can get income, but they're not really happy to work. I mean, people seem to be miserable at every job you run across. And, of course, you meet naturally giddy and happy and conversational people around as you walk through your life. But more and more, I mean, people don't even make small talk. And small talk, it wasn't really an art. We all did it. Now it's becoming an art because so few people can do it. Everybody's in their laptop. They only want to talk to people that they want to talk to. But now out in the world, you have to look them in my face, and I have to, help you with this product. And, and I have to be nice to you. I want your business. That's still a standard thing. But, the art of being helpful to win business seems to be gone because no one really likes the gig. No one really wants to be, doing what they're doing. And unless they know it's going someplace, like they give people unpaid internships, so you work to be around, movies or TV or banking or whatever. And those don't generally guarantee gigs, but at least you know that there's opportunity. So that shows that you're willing not to be paid for the opportunity and the experience, which I think is sort of crap. Pay people, people working for free is ridiculous. This is America, for crying out loud. But anyway, so if they hired you if you worked as an intern at NBC and the NBC hired you, that's worthy. But I think people are kind of in jobs where there's not that. They're just, on tries, and they'd like to want to know how to get to the next level. And it's getting increasingly more and more difficult, and people are increasingly unhappy about it. We all can't be college graduates, right? Not everyone is going to college. It's not like you have a 80% college graduate rate or attendance or anything like that. It's not even half. It's something like, I want to say, good Lord, how many people do you think we have who are college graduates in America? Before I look it up.
40%?
I would say that. I would say about just under 50.
Yeah.
College graduates. Yeah, but so it's that kind of thing. You sort of internally give up unless you run across something that becomes lucrative. And very few of us get that opportunity. We have to, we're not going to be actors or singers, and we're not going to all be bankers, and we're not all going to be college graduates. but you should be happy doing what you do, even if you luck into it. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I just see, and it's funny because like I'm working, so I guess that would be considered like a master technician, right?
Right.
So I'm working with all the younger techs, and I'm like, okay, did you look here? Did you do this? Did you do this? Okay, hey, let me give you this assignment. Here are the steps that I'm going to lay out in the assignment. You need to complete these 4 steps, okay? And then I go back to the person, and I'm like, okay, so this assignment right here, it's marked as complete. Yes, it's complete, Ted. I said, okay, and it says that you completed 2 of the 4 steps. Yes. Okay, so what about the remaining 2 steps? Well, what had happened, and I said, don't start off with what had happened was. I said, don't start off that way.
Right.
And I said to the person, I said, okay, why didn't you complete the other 2 steps? And I got the answer of, I don't know.
Got a lot of that. Yeah.
And there is the story, and that's how we become the old guys screaming, "Get off my lawn!"
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said for like age breeding wisdom. Just because you've seen more, and you can recognize scenarios coming down the pike because you've seen them 2 and 3 times before in your life, right? But there's also something to be said for youthful energy and not listening to your elders, right? There's something to be said for because the older guys aren't going to chart the new courses. It's always the young people with the money from the older guys, but it's always the young people. So, yeah, I think we're excuse me. I think we're at this sort of like that can be one of those crossroad things where
I kind of believe we're at the cusp. I kind of believe we're at the cusp of becoming the full-on, get off my lawn. You guys don't listen. I'm not going to explain it. You're never going to understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know more than you.
Yeah, I think I'm 10 years away from that. I think I've pushed it back as far as I can push it back, but some of this stuff is just sort of ridiculous to me. I find myself now complaining about rap music, and I love rap music. But I complain about it, not like people of their age complain about it. They're talking and discussing it. I'm complaining about it. Yeah.
I gotta correct you. Correct you. You love hip hop.
I do love hip hop.
This stuff is rap.
Yeah, that rap stuff is ridiculous. Yeah, old school hip hop, new school energy hip hop. I just discovered J. Cole. I would consider him hip hop. But everyone else, I think, is just rap music. And then, it's. I guess it speaks to them, right? Which is what you want your music to do. But if the music is all negative and depressing lyrics to hot beats, it begins to play in your psyche, right? So, at least for me anyway. So if you only watch like horror movies, I would think that there's something wrong with you, unless it's your job, right? Surely you got to watch a comedy occasionally. I love comedy, but even I've seen a couple of dramas, right? I don't like horror movies, but even I've seen a few horror movies because your life has to be varied, right? So, but a steady diet of all these different people making the same rap album, is just, and but my nephew's like, "No, you don't understand, like he's speaking to the general." I'm like, "Yeah, but if, so yeah, I'm totally I can totally channel my get off my lawn, but I don't know, man. I don't know. These kids today. So we'll see. Because if everybody keeps making the same rap song, excuse me, if everybody keeps making the same rap songs, the genre is going to die out, right? But I have hope because that Lil Nas X Country Road song is just shows what hip hop is, right? Hip hop is water, and it can be mixed and blended with anything, and you can't stand against the force of it, right? So, I mean, I love hip hop. Good hip hop is good hip hop, and that song is a good hip hop song. But I just wish other guys would kind of like venture into the art and the poetry and the rhythmic cadence and the real true message of it, other than just talking about guns and violence. I mean, I get it, you know. NWA made it a thing in the 80s, and it's still around. But there were other genres too. Like I went to see I forgot who the name of the group. I always say Migos, but it wasn't Migos. In Manhattan, at Madison Square Garden, just like new good, like musical hip hop, and no mentions of guns or drugs or violence. Plenty of mentions of dancing to hot beats with pretty girls and smoking weed and having a beer with my boys. You know, those kind of lyrics I'm all for. So, but, you know, it just gets to a point where you've seen enough and you've heard enough, and now you want to know what can the young people bring, and if the young people aren't innovating. Yeah, so.
You're right. Other than that, I for the most part, I really don't want to talk Donald Trump. I really don't want to talk Donald. We can talk Donald Trump if you want to talk Donald Trump.
No, we don't need to talk Donald Trump. We don't need to talk Donald Trump. Sway Lee was a kid's name that I went to see in Manhattan.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Sway Lee, good stuff. I mean, but they strike me as you know, entertainers, right? Trying to bring you good hip hop music, dance club music, you know, whereas everyone else is trying to seem to me at this point they're trying to impress me with how violent they are, and I'm just tired of how violent you are in an environment where, you know, people are struggling, you know. So yeah, that was my get off my lawn speech, by the way, about hip hop and rap music and what the difference is.
Like I said, yeah. I see. I've embraced the fact that I'm there. You are denying that you're there.
Yeah,
you really are.
Problem. That's the
You're
problem.
denying it, and I'm fully embracing it, because I'm just like, all right, you know what, enough. Like, and you just wanna, because so we've all been in customer service, whether you're a public servant or whether you deal with your clients. However, everyone has a customer.
Right.
So when the tables turn and you become that customer, and you're just like, okay, this is some shitty service.
Right.
It gets to that point.
Right. Exactly.
This is some shitty service. I'm done. I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, it gets to be infuriating.
Right.
It gets to just be disrespectful too. It's just kind of like, yeah. We're getting old, man.
Well, we're getting old, and our tolerance level is at that point.
For the nonsense, yeah.
You don't have time for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's kind of like I get on the train in the morning. Hey, okay, the clerk comes through. Let me see your ticket. Here's my ticket. Leave me alone, okay? Because
right.
I'm going to present it. It's going to be visible so you can see it. You won't have to stretch over into my corner or anything. I respect what you do. I respect your profession. Keep it moving now.
Right. Exactly. And there's also something to be said for that, right? Like, it's the repetition of a thing that you do every day, it begins to lose its unique appeal. So, like, the first time you ride the subway to your new gig and you find your route and you've never taken that line before, by the time you've done it in the fifth year, you hate that subway. You know, you hate this thing. It's because you've done it every day. And repetition will make, you know, the human animal a mental patient. You know, it will really make you a crazy person. You need to vary your sensory input. So, you know, like that guy coming through every day, reaching over you every day as you go to work. Every day. Eventually you're going to be like, I can't be nice about this anymore. So that's my point. So I totally get people being, you know, trying not to be, but snapping at, like, people that you run into every day just because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're borderline at the point where I'm like, hello, John. You know, as he's walking through the,
right.
You know, and I'm like, okay, and you're still reaching over me, and I'm on this train every day, and I show you this badge, and there's nothing special about it than the person that's next to me, but you're still breaking your neck. You know, and if I was anyone else, this could be misconstrued as something else.
Right. Maybe he likes your cologne.
Oh, man.
Yeah. People have all, like, that's the tolerance of humanity, right? When you just throw all these people who wouldn't normally be friends together in an environment. Like people cut their toes I saw that once on the New York City subway. I was just like, what in the world? I saw one guy watching adult material on his laptop on the bus.
Jeez.
Yeah, people are just, and they're all mixed in with the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know? So,
and
yeah.
For that guy, he's in
some people are happy
world.
to have a job, but he just might be dense to, like, personal space or whatever it is. It may not get the clue. I'm always trying to, like, give people the benefit of the doubt before I kind of have to yell at them. But, you know, yeah, I don't know, man.
Scary. It's scary. And this, like I said, this is what we deal with every day. I mean, and there's a billion stories, you know,
yeah.
and I won't share them tonight, but there's a billion stories of just me being on that train every day and just, like, just watching the interactions between people. And I'm like, okay, I know we're built for something else. We're built to create, like, a Black Mirror series or something, because it's just like the way we observe things. And I'm just like, look at this interaction here. Look at this one here. And I'm like, oh boy.
Right.
It's just too much, man. It's really, really, really too much. But I want to just wrap it back to the beginning of the conversation with you and say you are passionate about politics, and that's good. That's good. That has to exist in some of us.
Yeah,
I just think I'm beat down.
Yeah, I think we need to reignite that energy in the average American citizen of liking politics and being interested. And I've always said, you know, if I want to be able to, like, envision America in, like, 25, 50 years where you can walk into a bar and go, anybody in this bar have a family member who's ever held office. And maybe more hands will go up because somebody can tell you 20 years ago was a mayor, or maybe, like, a second cousin that they know of is a senator. So that tells me that it's people are engaged and people are you know, are at least running or trying, not ran, but, like, not like they won, but they tried to win, right? So you ask that question, anybody have a family member who tried to run for office kind of thing. And the more hands you get up means the more people are civically active in their society versus what we get now, which is famous political guys who are now essentially celebrities and their children who are now talk show people. So I don't know. I think you really need to talk politics in order to make sure your system stays unrigged. And if you don't, by the time you start talking politics, it'll be too late. So
when do you have me on your cooking show, man?
You know what? That is a good question. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to be coming up to New York soon. Maybe we'll do it then. We'll get together and at least have an interview and a burger at the very minimum.
All right. That sounds cool. I mean, it's like have listening device will travel.
Exactly.
And, because like I said, are you putting some of those dishes that you're making on, like, your website, or is it on YouTube, or is it Instagram? Like, where are you curating this stuff?
So far, I don't really have a system for it. I've been dropping them on my Instagram. But I normally like to cook a dish, like, twice before I don't know, man. I should put it up on my YouTube channel, but the simple answer is I've been putting them up on my Instagram and not my YouTube, and oddly enough, not my Twitter. But I guess it's partly because I'm still trying to figure out which one does what, because I'm that person. But yeah, so the simple answer is Instagram, and the long answer will eventually be YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah.
Any plans to do, like, a cooking podcast? Were you going to, like, interview chefs or interview yourself, or, like, talk about it, man?
Well, it's essentially like family recipes. I was going to try dishes that I've never cooked before, first time out, and do that, and do some more of the familiar family recipes that I think we should all know how to cook. Like, I was in the middle of writing up a loose list of about 25 of them, but some of them are, like, I just made a pot roast a couple of days ago, but like pot roast and ribs, like how to sear steak and make hamburger from ground beef, and some more of the exotic things that I like how to make Swedish meatballs, and so these kind of things, simple mac and cheeses and lasagnas, all those things that everybody likes, but very few people know how to cook. So yeah, once I finish the research on like where I can get, like, the simplest recipes I can find for these, not simple meaning bad, but like interesting. And I was looking up a bolognese recipe, and the guy took 2 days to make it. I was like, Jesus, man, nobody's gonna spend 2 days to make it. But I mean, these guys are chefs, mind you. But like that, to me, that makes it more likely that I won't try it, right? I get making enough of it that you could store it in a freezer and then take it out and put it over spaghetti, or use more of it for lasagna. But it shouldn't take two days to make it, with 2 bottles of wine and 3 different types of meat that you sear on the bottom of the Dutch oven. So I was just kind of like, I think it's beautiful. The technique is incredible. I totally get what you're doing, but nobody's going to do that. People have, kids and husbands, and they're not all chefs. So, I've been trying to find, like, a good bolognese that I could use for meat sauce, that I could use for lasagna, as well as over spaghetti or whatever pasta I'm having, that is still good, but isn't that intense that I don't have to dump, like a bottle of red wine and like 16 different spices. There's got to be like 8 spices and maybe some, I don't know, beef broth, or I don't know. I'll find it. But that's the plan. I gotta better organize this system, but it's small. I'm in the gathering stage as I cook it all up now. So yeah, look forward to that. A bolognese sauce coming in like the next week. So yeah. YouTube.
All right, man. Tell me, where can we find your YouTube feed? Where can we find you on Twitter? I don't know if you still do Facebook, if you still feel, or do you
I have
feel like
a True Armor Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
I have a True Armor Facebook page that I kind of rarely add. I'm kind of, after all that whole Facebook thing, I sort of just use my personal Facebook page for family stuff, and I don't really use the True Armor Facebook page, but although I still dabble with it. But I'm on Instagram at Truest Armor, and I'm on Twitter at True Armor, and I'm on YouTube at Armor Intergalactic. So stop by like any one of those, and wish me luck.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to be in touch as always. I'm going to hold you to like
that bolognese sauce and that interview when I come to New York and everything. Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm going to talk with you in a bit, all right?
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. All right.
Steve.